It all began when I was a boy. I wasn't like others my age. Instead of kicking footballs or smacking sixes, I had a different hobby. A hobby with a risk. I wasn't stealing the envelopes, just borrowing them. I took them home and carefully peeled the stamps off them. All for my collection. Then I used to sneak out, put the envelopes back with tatty stamps on them that I didn't want anymore. I was good at it, so quiet that no one ever knew. The more I collected, the more I wanted to collect. More stamps, more full pages, and I cherished full pages. There were no deterrents, not even locked mailboxes. Mum's kitchen drawers sorted that. If only my tools could have told me to stop, but I wanted more, and was soon lured by what was inside the envelopes. Old Mrs. Gregson up the street was my trial.
Hi, Mrs. Gregson.
That you, Robbie?
Yep.
Dear, this eyesight's a nuisance.
I chose her because she would never have known if her mail was tampered with. I wasn't frightened. I was just a boy on an exciting journey into the unknown. My wild imagination had painted pictures of spies or murderers living in the neighbourhood. But what did I get? A water bill. But I didn't give up. And looking back, I know that's when letters began dictating my life, as they did to the people whose lives I pried into, like the O'Reillys on Wick Avenue, whose son at university wrote to tell them he was gay.
Hey, just a minute. Just a minute, Jim. Just a minute. We've got to sit down and talk about this. Let's be sensible about it. It's no good. We can't abandon him now. We've got to talk about it and be sensible, Jim. Please. Oh.
Or the Sills, under tax investigation.
Well, what are we going to do?
Oh, look, relax. I told you we had this under control, all right? Don't go
He said
stressing
you'd fix it. He said we wouldn't have to worry about this.
This argument's tired. It's an old chestnut. We are not going to go broke. Just relax.
We don't have the money for this.
There was April Wood of Stock Road. She was the mistress for a Melbourne businessman whose perfume-scented cards told her to look pretty every weekend. And Mrs. Percy. Her husband was working in New Zealand, but he wrote and rang her every day. And there was, of course, Joe Harris, who I never saw, but I saw plenty of his mail. I knew everyone's secrets, and the beauty was, no one knew mine. I did it until my parents. I wonder what they're thinking now. And I wonder if they know if I did it until they and I moved to the other side of town about a year later. I thought it was just a phase, a childhood phase, to fold into the corner of my memory to collect dust, never to be used or remembered again. So I thought. But it all changed with that walk to the mailbox a month ago. There was one letter with words that leapt from the page and shook me back to my childhood. Dear Chopsticks, it said, I know what you did all those years ago. It had no name on it, no address. Over the following weeks, I received more letters, all holding memories of a sad, lonely man. He told me of his life, all the highlights, he said, like graduating from university with honours, but there were no celebrations. He did have a girlfriend, but she left him after a month. He loved playing golf, but never had a partner. He once won a lot of money, but had no one to share it.
The winner bought the ticket from a news agency at Chatswood on the North Shore, but hasn't yet come forward to claim the prize.
And he taught himself to play the guitar, but no one listened. His life, it seemed, was one long solo. Each time he sent me a letter, my fingers became turnstiles through which his life clicked from one bittersweet memory to another. And the worst has just arrived. I know it's the last. The final letter. It all began when I was a boy. A lonely boy. The people I knew best were people I didn't know at all. Now, I'm a lonely man, and the only person I know is myself.